Hey, second graders! It is time for Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle's magic. And today we are on chapter 3, The Tattletale Cure. Oh my gosh, I swear, when I'm in school teaching face to face, this one, The Tattletale Cure, I need it. So I'm going to find out what Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle does. Alright, chapter 3, The Tattletale Cure. It was a cold, snowy day. Mrs. Hamilton gave the hot cocoa a little stir and then went to the kitchen window to see if the children were coming. It was 10 minutes past 3 and almost time for them. Mrs. Hamilton fixed a plate of sugar cookies and got out two big shiny red apples. Then, as the children rounded the corner, she poured the hot, fragrant cocoa. Wendy and Timmy came stomping up on the back porch, and Mrs. Hamilton helped them off their galoshes, washed off some of the snow, and hurried them into the nice warm kitchen. And how was school? She asked Wendy as they helped her off with as she helped her off with her coat and leggings. Wendy said, "Well, I hate everybody at school, and everybody at school hates me." Mrs. Hamilton was shocked. Wendy was 9 years old. She had nice fat pigtails, shiny bangs, sparkling brown eyes, and pink cheeks. Mrs. Hamilton didn't see how anyone could hate her. She said, "Why, Wendy, that's dreadful, dear. Why does everyone hate you?" Wendy said, "I don't know. They just do. And I don't care because I hate everybody too." She sat down at the kitchen table and took a bite of sugar cookie. Timmy, who was 7, was sitting on the floor taking off his leggings. His mother said, "Here, Timmy, let me help you." Timmy said, "No, thanks, I can do it myself." You want to know why everybody hates Wendy? It's because she's such an old tattletale. She tells the teacher on everybody. I hate her too. Mrs. Hamilton said, "Why, Wendy Hamilton, do you tell on people?" Wendy said with evident pride, "Uh-huh. I tell Mrs. Worthing every time anybody whispers or cheats or writes notes. I even told her when Jimmy Mertron sucked his paintbrush today. We're not supposed to suck our paintbrushes. We're supposed to use our fingers to make points." She took a little sip of her cocoa and wiped her lips daintily. Wendy was very pleased with herself. Mrs. Hamilton wasn't pleased with her. She said, "Wendy Hamilton, I think that's horrid, telling the teacher about little things like sucking on a paintbrush." Timmy said, "Oh, she's always tattling. She's so busy spying and tattling, she doesn't even have time to play." Wendy said, "You better be careful, Mr. Timothy Hamilton, or I'll tell Mother that you haven't brushed your teeth in 5 nights, and you gave your liver to Spot last Wednesday, and you sent some of your Sunday school money on candy, and last night you read in bed with a flashlight." Timmy said, "Yeah, and this morning you put the rest of your toast in the silverware drawer. You spilled Spot's water and didn't wipe it up. You ate half the candy I bought with my Sunday school money." Wendy, quite red faced, said, "Oh, blah, 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 blah. You too, you old crumpet." "Blah, blah, blah yourself, old dog eyes," Timothy said. Wendy said, "Mother, he calls me dog eyes all the time. He says that only dogs have brown eyes." Mrs. Hamilton said, "Wendy, change your school clothes and go in and start your practicing. Timmy, change your school clothes, then go downstairs in the basement and put all of Daddy's tools that you got out last night. Put them away. I must say, you're both so disagreeable. I'm sorry you came from home to school and spoiled my nice, peaceful afternoon." Mrs. Hamilton went up to her sewing room and closed the door. There was a nice little fire in the grate, and it was very cozy in there, with the radio playing softly, big snowflakes drifting down past the window, and no sounds of quarreling from downstairs. Mrs. Hamilton was letting down the hems of Wendy's summer dress, and as she thought about the tattling and wondering why Wendy had turned into such a horrible little girl. Tattling was loathsome disease, and she was afraid that Timmy was catching it too. While Mrs. Hamilton sewed and worried, the snow piled up in fluffy white heaps on the windowsill, and the coals hummed and blazed in the grate, and from downstairs came a da 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 as Wendy was practicing the happy farmer. Mrs. Hamilton had just reached the stage where she was thinking, oh well, it will all straighten out. Wendy is just going through a phase. When her practicing suddenly stopped. The sewing room door was thrown dramatically open, and Wendy announced, I think you should know that Timmy is just sitting on the basement stairs looking at a book. And when I told him to do his work, he said, oh, go bang the piano, dog eyes. Mrs. Hamilton said, I didn't tell you to check up on Timmy. I told you to do your practicing. Wendy said, if I didn't see that Timmy does his work, who's going to? You just sit up here and sew with your door closed. Mrs. Hamilton said, when I need your help, Wendy, I'll ask for it. Now go downstairs and finish your practicing. Wendy turned and flounced down the stairs. Mrs. Hamilton got up and closed the sewing room door. Again, everything was peaceful. The happy farmer was thumped out indignantly on the piano, and from the basement there was silence. This lasted exactly 10 minutes. The sewing room door, again, was thrown open to reveal both Wendy and Timmy jostling for position and tattling at the top of their lungs. She's just an old spy. He's not doing a thing but reading. Nobody likes her, and that includes me. He's the one who ate all those ginger snaps last winter. And if you want to know what happened to the old fountain pen that Mrs. Wentworth left here 3 years ago, Wendy took it to school, and Marty Phillips stepped on it, and Timmy owes 13 cents on his library books, and he can't find his card. He called me dog eyes right in front of everybody at recess. She broke my kaleidoscope. He spilled my ink on my desk drawer. She hit me. He teases me. All right. And that's the end of that part. We're going to come back for part 2 next time. What do you think is going to happen? How are they going to solve this tattletale-itis? Make a prediction, and I'll see you next time.